This is a Kmart production, brought to you by Dudzik Chiropractic and MJB Electric.
Listeners' discretion is advised. Zabills Podcast.
Welcome to Zabills Podcast. If this is your first time, we discuss the Bills games while we review two different Buffalo pizzas. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the big show.
All right, folks, welcome back to another edition of Breakfast with Zabills. Today, I have Sean, my co-host.
Joe, how we doing?
And okay, we're interviewing Joe.
We're interviewing Joe. Sorry, Joe.
Joe from the Bills backers of Houston. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great.
And Sean, ask your first question.
Joe, how's the weather out there?
It's storming. I'm safe. It's not flooding.
Is it
we've been through a lot worse.
Is it a billion degrees out there?
It's not a hurricane.
Has the heat hit you guys yet?
It has.
Okay.
And we're at this point where it's like 85, 90, where we're complaining now, and in a month when it's 100, we're going to go, man, where are those 85-degree days?
Ugh. My sister-in-law lives down in McAllen, and it's usually 100 degrees every day there. No, thank you.
It's going to get that way next month.
No, thanks.
Later this month, actually. It's June now.
So do you literally wake up in air conditioning, walk outside the house real quick, jump into your car, air conditioning, and then get out of the car, go right into air conditioning at work?
Oh, yeah. Well, I work from home, thankfully.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, when I don't leave the air conditioning.
Oh, man. I mean, I do like how we get in this little relief right now, right, Sean?
Yeah, right.
We got like 55 to 65 overnight. You can have the windows open. It's beautiful.
When I came back home last July, it was a nice little break.
Hold on. Where's home?
Well, South Buffalo and Hamburg is where I live.
Oh,
no kidding. So explain to me how you end up in Houston.
Funny story. I wanted to go in the military. My mom said no. And I said, well, I just want to see something other than Buffalo. So she said, why don't you go live with my sister Colleen for a little while? Moved down here, never left.
Well,
got myself a job, got a wife, never left.
how long have you been in Houston for?
What's that?
How long have you been in Houston for? When did you make that trip?
It'll be 14 years this upcoming September.
wow. All right.
Grew up in South Buffalo, Hamburg area, and then you just transplanted to Texas. No stops in between, or?
No, just got on a plane with a suitcase and a guitar case.
My goodness.
Man.
All right, bring us back. What's the connection with the Buffalo Bills? We know you grew up here in Western New York, but you continued that through all of the difficult seasons, drought, missed draft picks at quarterback. Why the Buffalo Bills? Why so loyal? Why did you bring the Buffalo Bills to Texas?
It goes back generations. My great-grandfather on my mom's side was a season ticket holder from day one, back in the rock pile. My father, my grandfather, all my aunts and uncles, all Bills fans. So I moved down here. And funny enough, I became a bigger Bills fan after moving away, because in order to get Bills content, I can't just turn on the TV, So I had to kind of look for it. And then I found the Houston Bills backers. And it's funny, I came down here. It's kind of a shy, awkward kid growing up, didn't have a lot of friends. Moved here. Now I have a lot of friends down here, and most of my friends down here are from Buffalo. So that's the thing, when we were awful, those are some of my best memories watching the Bills, because it'd be, 10 of us at this bar getting excited over beating Jacksonville in a meaningless Week 14 game.
And is this at Christian's Tailgate Midtown?
Christian's Tailgate Midtown, right.
So you've been going there since day one for you?
So I actually discovered it about a year after I lived here. So it's funny, I used to go to Buffalo Wild Wings because it was the only place I knew of at the time that showed every game. That's where I was the day. Remember that big comeback game against the Patriots where I think it was Fred Jackson took a knee on the 1 yard line and Belichick wanted to call it a touchdown so we get more time on the clock?
Yes. Yeah.
I watched that game at Buffalo Wild Wings. I was the only Bills fan there. I was going nuts. And my friend that I went with, somebody says, "Hey, buddy, you're driving home, right?" And my friend goes, "No, he is. You got to let him drive home that drunk?" He hasn't had a drop to drink. So he's just that excited about the Buffalo Bills?
You were down there probably when the Houston Oilers were transitioning to Tennessee, and
no. I came down here. The Texans have been here for about 10 years at that point.
Oh, okay. My math's clearly off.
We'll cut that out.
You cut that one out. Yeah, we'll edit that one out. So the Texans have been down there. What's the following like? It's got to be Texans heavy. It's got to be Texans crazy.
Probably Cowboys.
I hate
Houston.
That's kind of what it is. It's kind of a real bandwagon town here. I hate to say it. When the Texans are doing good, everybody's big on the Texans. When they're not, they all reach in the closet for the Cowboys jerseys in the back.
Told you, America's team.
That's right.
America's team.
My cousin's a Cowboys fan, but I'll let that slide because he was down here during that time. So when he was about 8, 9 years old, when he was first really starting to get into football, that was the time after the Oilers, before the Texans. So the Cowboys were the closest team to him when he was getting into football.
So I'm going to jump ahead here into the football part, but what is the vibe down there with Diggs signing with the Texans?
Well, all my Texans friends, all my friends that are Texans fans have definitely let me know about it.
Are they excited or are they mad?
They say that again.
Are they upset or are they happy with that deal?
Oh, they love it, and they make sure they know I love it.
Okay, all right. Let them know that they're going to get a cancer on their hands.
Yeah, he skipped OTAs again.
Oh, no kidding. Well, I don't even remember the last time he actually went to them.
Right. But, they keep saying it's the best wide receiver room in the league, and I just say, yeah, he's great when he wants to be.
Well, that is very true. Okay, so let's get into the backer bar. What is your position with the backers?
So I have 2 positions. So I started out as a glorified mascot. I have a little dance that I do during the shout song. I have a little Mick Jagger impression that I do. The biggest draw, people love it. I have this whole little dance we play in the third quarter. The Devil went down to Georgia. And it gets the bar going. And from that role, I transitioned into vice president, kind of unofficially at first. So I kind of do things like this. I'm kind of I'm trying to not sound arrogant here, but I'm kind of the face of the group.
Well, I've seen pictures on your Facebook page. You are definitely on there a lot. My wife runs it. That's why. She runs the social media for the group. But yeah, I help out a lot to make sure everybody's having a good time. And if anybody has any complaints, they'll come to me. You guys know Katie. She does a lot of work too. Probably more than I do. She does a lot of behind the scenes. And it's a great group of people. It started out with one guy and his 2 or 3 adult sons started going to watch the games. And so it was like 3 people started out, and then just grew from there to now it's shoulder to shoulder every Sunday. Wow. So, Joe, there's a special drink, Christian's Tailgate, named after you?
Yeah, so I came in the first game of last year, and I look at the drink menu because they change it every year, and there's a drink called the Buffalo Joe. And at first I'm honored. And it's Mexican candy, which it's tequila and watermelon with tahini, which at first I was like, you guys named the grossest drink after me. But after taking a taste, it's actually really surprisingly really, really good. But we've always been about giving back. So I talked to Sean, the owner, and we give $1 of every shot to, it's called Buddy's Second Chance. My dog's name is Buddy. So I felt drawn to this particular charity. And they rescue a lot of dogs from Texas. Jordan Poyer was actually involved with them, which is how I found them on social media. So $1 for every shot, Buffalo Joe shot goes to them. We do a lot of charity work there. We have a 50-50 drawing during every playoff game for squares. Half goes to the winner, half goes to Alzheimer's in honor of our DJ Hoyt. His grandmothers both passed away of Alzheimer's. But the 13-second game, when it looks like we were doing really good, my wife ran the 50-50, and somebody came up and said, how much have you raised? And she said $700 something. he's like, I want to match that. So he Venmoed her $700.
Wow.
And he was drinking, and his friend was drunk, and he goes, I can't let him outdo me. I'm going to donate $800. And they kept outdoing each other. By the end of the night, we had just in donations, not including people that bought tickets, $5,000 to donate.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's awesome. That's
And,
Buffalo.
After the game, we talked to Hoyt, the DJ, and me and my wife and him were I'm not gonna lie, we got emotional. We were crying, and people were looking at us thinking we crying because of the Bills loss. I'm like, not because of the loss, but kind of because of the loss.
So, and where's explain to us the setup and where Christian's tailgate is.
So Christian's tailgate's in Midtown, Texas, so it's kind of close to downtown. It's this little bar underneath a parking garage. It's if you're ever down here, it's on Bagby Street, and it is just a little dive bar, a little sports bar. Nothing fancy, but that's we're from Buffalo. We're not looking for anything fancy, and it's just great group of people, great service. They've always been more than welcoming to us when we have our parties there. It's a fantastic time.
Give us the dish that we should recommend or we should go to if we're down there. What
hold
do
on.
we try?
Hold on. Let's focus on Christian's tailgate for a second.
I'm asking about Christian's tailgate.
Oh.
That's the food that's like that Christian's
I would
tailgate
hope they got
serves.
Bill's food there.
We're cutting that out too. No. But what do you guys eat down there? What do you guys serve? What's the dish down there that you're going to find at Christian's tailgate?
So Christians, they do have Salem's hot dogs.
Oh,
Okay, all right.
There it is.
They got Labatt Blue and Molson. If you're there, now the hot dogs, I believe, are only served during Bill season. They were ranked number 1 in Houston, and then Playboy magazine, which is what I read for the articles, as everybody knows, ranked them the number, I can't remember the ranking, but top 10 in the nation for hamburgers. They have a really good burger.
Did you say hamburger?
Yes.
Oh, no kidding.
Wow.
So number 1 hot dog and top 10 burger
Right.
Wow.
in Houston, Texas. No. Oh. So do you guys have
By
pizza or
culinary
buffalo
experts,
wings?
Playboy magazine.
Okay. Well, that's the pinnacle right there.
Yeah.
So no wings, no beef on whack.
Oh, they don't have beef on whack. They do have. I should have said that. They do have wings, very good wings.
Okay, so what was your wing spot when you lived in South Buffalo, Hamburg, Lackawanna?
911 Tavern.
Oh, okay. So how do the wings compare to 911 Tavern?
The 911 Tavern, not even close. I'm going to be honest. But 4 wings down here, they're the best wings you'll get outside of Buffalo.
All right, all right. What are they compared to from your experiences and memories of Buffalo? Who are they close to?
I think any pizza place you go to, that's
Okay.
kind of funny when people ask me, where do you go for wings in Buffalo? And I always laugh. And wings in Buffalo, even though they're known for our wings, it's usually a side dish with your pizza.
Correct.
More often than not.
Yeah. Speaking of pizza, growing up in the Southtowns, we have a member on our panel who is a Southtown native.
God's country.
Yeah, in God's country, as he says. What is your favorite pizza from back home?
Abbott Pizza.
Yes.
Oh, actually, funny story, Joe. We were doing a podcast one night, and we were deciding who we were going to review, and we got it down to Minio's South and Abbott.
I love both of them.
And we have a guy that we just said, Dennis, shout out to Dennis. He picks up all our Southtown pizzas and brings them up to Tonawanda. And the guy from Abbott hooked him up, gave him a free pizza.
Oh, nice.
For that night. So shout out to Abbott.
Yeah,
also
go
gave him
Abbott.
the pizza bag to transport the competitor pizza in also. So that was huge.
Minio's, I played baseball right across the street from Minio's on South Park.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay, so where were we? We were at
We've got pizza,
chicken wing. They have wings.
Yep.
No whack. Great hot dog. Great burger.
Wow.
Barbecue?
But not at Christian's, but there's definitely great barbecue down here. Love getting some barbecue. It's all beef based down here.
Yeah, briskets.
Brisket.
Yeah.
The first thing I ever learned about barbecue was if you put barbecue sauce on it, it's because you tried to hide something you missed.
Oh, good advice.
So
good advice.
Texas barbecue, it's all about the smoke.
Yes.
Christian's tailgate owners, are they Buffalo people too, or no?
Funny enough, the main owner, he became a Bills fan because the better we do, the better he does financially.
Absolutely.
The newest manager, though, of our location of Christian's name is Sean. Great guy.
Great name.
But he's a Dolphins fan.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, we give him a lot of crap.
So does he stay home on Sundays for Bills games when you guys are showing him there?
No, he shows up, and I've seen him rooting for us a few times.
Does he show up wearing a Zach Thomas jersey?
He's like, I'm not going that far. I'm not wearing my Funny enough, when I introduced myself to him, he says, "Oh, I'm from South Florida." I walked away and went, "Wait a minute. You didn't say Miami. You said South Florida for a reason. You didn't want me to hear you."
That's funny. Is it a Bills venue all year round, or they take it down during the off season? And
so, I mean, they have a few Bills decals and stuff around, but it's mostly just during the football season.
Okay.
We, as a group, we get together a couple times a year, but at different places around town.
I see, based on your Facebook group, that you have like 3,600 and counting. That's a pretty good-sized group.
A lot of that is for people who come to town for the games. They need the information. But yeah, we have a big following. We usually we're full about an hour before game time, and it's standing room only by the time the game starts.
Have you had any Bills former players, current? Well, obviously not current, but former players come in yet?
Daryl Kelly was there the day before a game. I don't remember any Bills players being there on game day.
Okay.
But we have huge parties before the game. What was it, 2020 in the playoffs? I walk into the bar. It was the day before the playoffs. I walk into the bar, and everybody, the whole bar was singing Piano Man by Billy Joel. And I look up, it's actually karaoke. There's a guy singing karaoke. He sounded so good, I honestly thought it was the Billy Joel recording. So he gets off stage, and I go tell him, "Oh, that was really good. You sound just like Billy Joel." He goes, "Oh, thanks." And me and him get to talking, and I say, "Oh, by the way, I'm Joe." He goes, "Oh, my name's Joel Allen." It was Josh's dad singing Piano Man, getting the whole bar into it.
Okay.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and then earlier that day, a whole bunch of guys were crowding this old man in the bathroom. I'm like, "What is going on?" This is Josh's grandfather. And they're bugging him, and they go, if you're really Josh's grandpa, what's his middle name? He goes, "Oh, hell, I don't remember my own middle name." And then if you've seen the picture, you know how I dress. I had the tuxedo and the big hat, so I look like a goofball.
Yeah.
But I say to him, "Sir, just trust me, follow me. Let me get back to your table safely so people won't keep bothering you for it."
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Joe, bring us back, brother. You're still a Bills fan. You're diehard. One of the questions we ask, because when you leave Buffalo, you can kind of break away and, you know what, maybe jump ship. Why are you a Bills fan? What is the greatest Bills moment you can recall? It can be 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It could be 2 seasons ago. Your Bills moment.
For me, it was the day that we broke the drought. That
Baltimore.
I remember we won, but it looked like
Yes.
it looked like the Ravens were going to win, so it didn't matter anyway. So I was sitting there on the ground at the bar pouting, watching the end of the Bengals game, and I just remember somebody asking why I was pouting. It's over, like, Joe, you got to believe it. Fine. So I stand up and I'm like going through the motions, and when Andy Dalton threw that touchdown, I got so excited. I ripped off my shirt because I ripped off my shirt once, like 5-6 years ago, and someone's like, "Joe, you never do that again. That's embarrassing. You can rip it off if we ever make the playoffs." As in, like, that's never going to happen. So I remember them saying that, and when we finally did it, I ripped off my shirt. There's video of it, and it was just, I cried. I'm not even ashamed to admit, I cried the day that we broke that drought. I didn't think it was ever going to happen.
Joe, hold on.
Go ahead.
Joe, how old are you?
30. I'll be 34 in 2 weeks.
34 and 2. Well, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
I'm just curious. Hold on, I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay, he's going somewhere.
Are you old enough to remember the comeback game against Houston?
I am not.
Oilers? Okay.
So I was 3.
Close.
Okay.
I mean,
All right. I figured this. That's why I asked.
I got to follow up on the shirt ripping real quick. Did you do it like Hulk Hogan, or did you just kind of like rip it off and then just like tear it in front of you? Like I'm envisioning Hulkamania style.
I wish I could do that. I'm not strong enough to do that. So yeah, I just ripped it off over my head. But as far as the comeback game goes, I do have a story about that. I don't remember it. My dad, his cousin, if you remember, the game was not on TV in Buffalo. It was
Correct. It was blacked out, yeah.
So his cousin had a bar with an illegal satellite feed, so he watched it there. After the half, he was like, this game is over. He went and visited my grandfather, who was in a nursing home. Listened to it on the radio. When they came back, he goes, Dad, I love you, but I got to go. And got in the car and drove off, got there just in time for overtime. Then I have a friend down here who was an Oilers fan. He was telling me he did the opposite. He saw the Oilers were ahead by so much. He's like, he said to his wife, let's just go out and have a nice little picnic. Didn't bring a radio with them, nothing. Just went home and assumed they won. Turned on the news to see otherwise.
So I grew up out in the Saratoga, New York region, and the game wasn't blacked out. So I sat there and watched the whole thing. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen. My mother-in-law.
My dad always tells me that stadium holds 80,000 people. I met 100,000 people who all said they were there.
Yep.
And none of them will admit that they left early.
Correct. So my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, I believe, both went to the game. They left at halftime. Left. Yeah. Yeah.
From what I read, though, they made an exception because there was almost a riot, and they started letting people back in.
Yeah.
One of the only times in NFL history because there's going to be a riot.
The NFL Network, I want to say maybe 2 summers ago, put that game on. And it actually had been the first time I had actually seen the full game from start to end. And it's still today, so many years later, it's unbelievable what they were able to accomplish with Frank Reich and not Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
Right. And Frank Reich, he had at the time, the record for the greatest college comeback of all time.
Correct. I always found that to be one of the most unusual facts in sports. He had the greatest 31 points, I think, for college, and then 32 for the NFL.
Remind me where Frank Reich played college ball.
Was it Boston College?
I keep seeing maroon. I will look it up. I'll fact check it.
Okay. Joe, is there anything else that you want to plug or shout out for your backer club or what your actual day-to-day responsibilities, what the difference is from your responsibility and Catherine's responsibilities, anything else you want to tell us about while Sean?
Definitely want to let everybody know about what makes our bar different from any other backers bar. We were voted number 1 in the nation a few years ago.
Okay. All right.
We actually have a signpost from Josh to congratulate us. But we also have a DJ, name is Hoyt, goes by DJ Soulstar. So during the commercial breaks, he plays music. So the party doesn't stop. From kickoff till the game is over, it's just one big, long, fun party.
That sounds like a great time.
Katie, she does so much work. She's working. She sets up all our tailgates because Texans are coming to town this year in October, so she sets all that up. Works with the bar. We have so the bar is relatively small, and there's no parking lot because it's in a metro area. So we actually have. If you guys come down here, we'll have an entire street blocked off for the street party.
Oh.
And we have lots of food. Last time they had food trucks. I don't know exactly what we have planned yet. Houston Bills backers on social media. Keep up with them for information there. We have we're going to have a private lot near the stadium on game day. So keep your eyes out for that, for where that's going to be and all that information. If you're coming down to Houston for the Texans game or anytime you're down here, come down to Christian Tailgate. We'll love to have you.
Are you saying you block off the street for every Bills game?
No, I wish. No, whenever the Bills come to Houston.
God, oh yeah, you shut down.
We had a big party the night before. Although we have talked, that will be our plan. I'm not going to say if. I'm going to say when we make the Super Bowl. That's the Bears plan.
I like that.
How or who voted for this backer? Like where was this? Or how did people vote, or what was the requirements?
The Bills sponsored the poll.
Okay.
And it was we just had everybody we knew vote. Everybody that came in to visit vote. I remember one time a guy came in and said, "I'd love to, but I'm from
I've been to San Diego Backers Bar, and they're better. So that's when I said to Hoyt, the DJ, and everybody's like, we need to turn it up to 11 today. We need to go full out, and I won his vote.
Wow.
And so we got that, and we got 2,000 personalized koozies.
Wow. And that's from the Buffalo Bills?
Directly from the Bills, yes.
Wow.
Oh, that's
That is
cool.
pretty cool.
That's cool.
That is the first. We've not heard of that.
Says Houston Bills Backers signed by Josh. That's right up in the bar.
That is awesome.
Send us a picture or post it on. I don't know if you're in our Facebook group or not, but that'd be kind of cool to post up.
I am in the Facebook group. Yeah, we definitely will.
All right.
Do you guys do anything in the off season, or is it just you are start of the season until the Bills are out of the playoffs, and then you guys hibernate, or do you function things? Do you do things year round?
Honestly, not yet. Not really around. Not officially. We're all real good friends, so we do have unofficial get-togethers. We did have a draft party one year. The year we drafted Sammy Watkins. But other than that, yeah, we'd love to get some more off-season stuff going. But yeah, at this point, it's season to season.
While you were talking about the draft party, did you guys watch? Did you have a draft party for this past draft? And what did you think about the Bills draft this offseason?
Well, no, we didn't have a draft party. I'm glad we didn't because that would have been a letdown.
Yes.
I like it. I like Coleman. I got to say, when I first saw him do interviews, I was like, this guy's kind of an idiot. And the more you listen, like, no, this guy's a genius. He's like that kid at school that pretends to be an idiot, but he's really a genius.
Yeah.
I love him. I love the guy.
He's definitely marketable.
Seems like a good ad. And added some depth. Whole season's up in a question mark right now, but
Sure.
I think we're going to do better than a lot of people are saying we are.
Where did you see Bean? Where's your take on him as a general manager? Did you like him trading out of the first? Did you like him taking 2 seconds? Where's your faith level in Bean?
I'm still a trust the process guy. And I'm not a big X's and O's guy, so not the biggest expert, but it seemed like it was a good move. We're still a good team, so we didn't need that high. And from everything I've read, Coleman was on our radar for the first round anyway. So yeah, if we can trade back and still get our guys, save money because we're in cap hell right now. Save the money, get the guy we want, and get more picks. That's a win-win.
I would agree. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Frank Reich, by the way, is University of Maryland. Fact check that.
I knew it was
Maryland
somewhere up in there.
Terrapins.
Yep.
Wow. That's interesting.
So the Bills' offseason has been a little muted. I think you mentioned that with their cap situation. Run down a list of players that have been cut or released or have just not been signed. Poyers, Hines, Morris, Hardy, Floyd, Gabe Davis, Micah Hyde, White, and, of course, the trade to the Houston Texans of Stephon Diggs. Which one hurts the most?
For me personally, because I'm in Houston, it's Diggs. Because if he does good, I will see it and I will hear it.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be Diggs. Poyer's going to be missed too. Hyde, I'd like to see Hyde come back, even if it's in more of a mentorship role. Because we got a lot of new guys coming in at the safety position.
Right.
White, as much as I loved him, and I loved for him to go and prove me wrong because I love the guy, he was just injury prone and he wasn't worth what he's going to be asking.
Okay. What did you think of last season?
I didn't like the slow start. I love Joe Brady. I love that he, we also have that cartoon of the Bills logo on a leash and Josh being set free, and that's what I feel really happened. Obviously disappointed by the ending, but who isn't? But yeah, I hate to say it, I still think we're taking a step back this year, but I still think, as cliche as it is, Josh Allen as your quarterback, you're always going to be a Super Bowl contender.
Who scares you in our division?
As much as I hate to say it, my brother's team, Miami.
Okay.
They, obviously got boy Poyer. They've been the closest to us. The Patriots don't scare me at all. They're in a true rebuild. Never thought I'd ever say those words. And then the Jets, they have a great defense, but Rodgers is how old? So how good is he going to be if he comes back?
Did you say your brother is a Dolphins fan?
Oh, yes. My brother, diehard Dolphins fan. I don't know. I can tell you where he got it from. We were watching the game when he was like 3.
Was he switched at birth?
My grandfather told him, you better not root for the Dolphins. And he thought it'd be funny to say, go Dolphins. And it was a joke that it's been 30 years. The joke's not funny anymore, but he still goes with it.
Oh, man.
Yeah. As I tell people, though, I don't hate my brother. I love my brother. I love him 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 363 days a year.
I mean, but you've been. I mean, what? It's been heaven. Josh Allen is a Dolphin killer.
Owned him.
I mean, it's kind of almost like Big Brother. You said you're older, right?
Right.
It's like Big Brother, Little Brother with the Bills and the Dolphins. I mean, they try, but really, we're almost ready to hand them the division, and they still find a way to fumble it, and we become AFC East champions. The bragging rights have got to be just one-sided in your household.
It definitely is. We all give them crap about it. The last game I went to was a Dolphins game, so there's a picture of me, my wife, my cousin, all giving him the middle finger with him wearing his jersey looking sad. He went to the, 2022 game? The night game.
Playoff or?
No, he said the night game.
The night game in 2022. And he's like, Joe, they keep throwing snowballs at me. I'm like, I would too. I was like, if they tried to fight you, yeah, I'd defend you. Throwing snowballs, I'd join in. And then, if you remember, they almost won that game. So I texted, like, look, bro, for real, I love you. I know I joke a lot, but please, you know how violent Bills fans can be. It looks like you're going to win. On your way out, please, if you have a jacket that's neutral, just cover yourself up till you get out of the stadium for your own safety. Then when the Bills came back and won, I was like, never mind, have fun.
Joe, 2-part question. How often do you get back to Buffalo? When was the last Buffalo Bills game you saw?
I get back there. So I haven't been there in 2 years. Unfortunately, my dad was very sick for a while, so I was flying back often until he passed. Last time I was there was for his funeral, which was back in July of 2022. The last Bills game I was at was the Dolphins game on Halloween Day, 2021. And that was my wife's first Bills home game.
Is your wife a Buffalo native, or is she from Texas?
So she's born and raised in Texas.
Okay.
Her dad was a diehard Oilers fan, season ticket holder. When they left town, excuse me. When the Oilers left town, he just wasn't. He never got into the Texans, so she never really got into football much. When she first met me, she didn't understand why I was so diehard about the team. Have you guys ever seen the movie Fever Pitch with Jimmy Fallon?
Oh yeah, it's a Boston movie.
I was like, look, I'm not a Red Sox fan, but if you watch this, you'll understand why I'm this way now. And come September, I'm a completely different person. If you remember the scene where they think he's drunk, but he's just watching the Buckner play over and over again, it was like, you're going to see me watching Wide Right at some point like this. So she never really got it until she came to the bar, a game against the Texans, and she thought it'd be funny to wear her dad's J.J. Watt jersey. And I was like, you can't do that. You can't do that in front of me. But she did. They gave me more crap than they did her for bringing a Texans fan in there. But then she finally got it. She started coming more and more, and she is as diehard of a fan as I am now. After we lost, this year, I'm over it because I'm done doing it at this point, as I tell people. But I get up to go to the bathroom, and I walk past the bedroom, and I open the door, and she's sitting there the day after, crying still about the Bills losing.
Really?
Yeah, she's become as diehard as I am.
She's definitely not an old Bills fan.
No.
Or seasoned.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
she's only known success.
Rex Ryan's last year. So
okay.
She didn't jump on the bandwagon. Somebody said it was like buying Yahoo stock in 90 or Amazon stock in 98.
Yeah.
For her.
She didn't jump on the bandwagon. She got here just in time to where she could say she was there for a little bit of the drought. And they got good from there.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing that when we keep losing to Kansas City, you're like, I'm used to it now?
That's the thing. She keeps saying, "Aren't you sad about this?" I'm sad. I just don't have to show emotions anymore.
Right. Bottle it up.
I do gotta say, somebody showed one of those AI prediction who's going to win the Super Bowl, and it showed us losing the Chiefs in the second round. I was like, if that's going to happen, I'd rather just lose to somebody else in the first round this year. Like, I'd obviously rather win the Super Bowl, but I'd rather lose in the first round than lose to Kansas City again.
Isn't it frustrating that you beat them in the regular season and you can beat all these other teams and then you meet them in the playoffs and it's like David and Goliath. Andy Reid and Mahomes and Kelsey. It's like unbelievable.
They're a dynasty. And this thing, it's not even like the Patriots. I don't hate the Chiefs.
Right.
There's nothing really about any of those guys that you mentioned that's like not likable. Like Tom Brady was not a likable guy. Belichick wasn't a likable guy. I like Andy Reid. He seems like a fun guy. So that makes it even harder to lose to them because you like them. I like the Bills more.
Joe, I want to pivot because we ask all Bills backers this question. But before I leave with that question, I have to ask, have you seen the Tom Brady roast?
I've seen clips of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Clips. It's worth it.
We started watching it. I did not realize it was 3 hours.
Yes, it is.
So it's one of we got the first hour down, and we ask all Bills backers.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
How many kids did you not let watch the race?
0.
Okay. Good.
I knew immediately it was going to be 0.
Good man.
It was.
Good man.
They're in bed. They're done. They're not watching that. They're not. Even my older one, I'm like, forget it. You're going to pick up bad habits. Anywho, we ask this because as I'm watching the roast, I'm thinking this.
Yeah.
Every Bills backer, here's the scenario. We want to see what you think. We trade Josh Allen for futures. Josh Allen gets traded from the Buffalo Bills to any team that's in the professional league. We get draft picks and a lot of them, but regardless, the Buffalo Bills sign Tom Brady for 1 year and we win a Super Bowl. Is that the scenario? Would you be okay with that scenario? Or are you willing to say, forget all that, let's keep Josh Allen and take our chances? Because we might win 2, 3, 4 with Josh Allen. But if we told
Tom Brady today, like Tom Brady as he is at 47 years old,
yep,
it doesn't matter.
Now,
it doesn't matter. He'll guarantee you a Super Bowl.
Absolutely not, because even put my personal feelings on him aside, one Super Bowl would be great, but like draft picks are a crapshoot. It was between Ryan Leaf and Peyton Manning at one point.
Right.
So draft picks are a crapshoot. We don't know what we're going to get with Josh Allen. We know we at least have a chance for 10 years. And we're going to have a fun 10 years, even if he doesn't win it.
So you got that. You got this.
You made that question too complicated.
I'm sorry. I think I did. Yeah.
It's pretty much is if you could trade Josh Allen for Tom Brady for 1 season
and you guarantee a
Super Bowl, would you sign up for it?
No, I would not.
Okay. Fair enough. What about Belichick for McDermott? Ooh, we got him here.
You know what? I got to say no, because Tom Brady going to Tampa, winning a Super Bowl, and the Patriots collapsing kind of shows the chicken and egg argument we've been having for 20 years.
Okay.
It was Brady.
Yeah. All right.
And I always said Brady was in a good system, and Belichick was a great coach, and Brady was overrated. And looking back, I got to say I was wrong.
Back to football for a second. 10-6, October 6th, Bills in Houston. Do you have your tickets?
Yeah. I don't have my ticket yet.
Okay.
But I know I have a friend that I never had to buy a ticket before. I have a friend, she's had season tickets since day one. And when they got so bad years ago, she gave up her tickets thinking they're going to be bad for so long. So this is the first time I'm going to have to actually buy a ticket this year.
Wow. Are you guys scared of the Texans? Because they seem to be loading up. They seem like they got their quarterback for the future. They've got the receivers now. Apparently, they seem to be the up-and-coming team that the Bills were going back 3 years.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I hate about it is I've been to 4 or 5 Bills games in Houston. I've never seen them win.
You're saying the Bills?
I've never seen the Bills win
in Houston.
And hopefully that changes this year.
The Texans stuck for that period of time. They never played here, and now they're playing here. They're going to be good again. Yeah, they scare me. I still think we have the edge, but it's not a guaranteed win by any stretch. They got a great receiving core. Tank Dell. I'm a University of Houston fan, so I actually like seeing Tank Dell win. It's not against us. Collins is good. Obviously, we know what Diggs can do. And Stroud is,
he's up there already as second-year quarterback. He's up there. So they do scare me.
Yeah, that's why they play any given Sunday. Sure.
That's right. I'm trying to think, Joe. The Bills, I think we're all in agreement that they're probably going to take a step back. What's your forecast?
Wrong, but yes.
What's your forecast for the Buffalo Bills going into this upcoming season with all the changes they've made?
Now the homer in me wants to say we got Allen and Coleman 17-0, so that's going to be a record. But if I'm being realistic, I still see us win the division. Maybe with 10-11 games. Although I do see us probably splitting with Miami at this point. I still see us making the playoffs. I think we'll see a lot of what we did last year for different reasons, with struggles early on just because so much new personnel. But like I said earlier, as it's a cliche, Josh Allen, that's all we need. I think by the bye week we get it together, and we do what we did last year, make a push, win the division, and hopefully this year go all the way.
2 players took a step last season, Cook and Kincaid. Obviously, Kincaid was the rookie. Who takes another step this coming season? Who's got room in their game to take it to maybe not a next level, but to build off of what they did this past season?
I'd love to see Kincaid. He, especially with our, we don't have the receiving core we did last year. He needs to step it up, honestly, because he's going to be a big piece of the passing game. So he did great last year as a rookie. He can only get better from here, and he needs to. So that's what I'm hoping.
Who last season, somebody who may have underperformed, do you think will have a really good season? Or who are you hoping for?
I'd like to see Knox. Okay. He gets a lot of flack. He's not, Kincaid is the tight end of the future. But Knox makes him better. Knox just seems like a really good guy. I really like him as a guy. Unfortunately, we all know what happened with his brother. Very tragic. And that would take a toll on anybody's job, no matter what, football player, janitor, I don't care. That's going to take a toll on your job.
Yeah.
So I'd really like to see him come back and have a strong year this year. And if we have both of those guys plus some of these receivers coming up, we're going to be unstoppable again.
I am hoping for a breakout season for Greg Rousseau finally.
I can see that happening.
And the other guy is Kyrie Elam.
Yeah.
Because that's a first-round draft. That's your first pick that hasn't really done anything.
Say it again?
I said that's a first-round pick that really hasn't amounted to much.
Right, and McDermott has punished him. He was healthy scratch a couple times last year I'd like to. Is this his last year on a contract
for Sean
Elam?
McDermott?
No, Elam.
Elam.
He might have one more.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see him step up because McDermott doesn't take that crap. McDermott is love him or hate him. He punished him last year deservedly and made him healthy scratch a couple times.
So speaking of loving or hating him, what are your thoughts on McDermott?
Let's get the 9/11 stuff out of the way. That was bizarre.
It was.
It was hilarious. Like I thought that was made up. I truly thought I was reading some sort of satire article when I read that.
The Onion?
Yeah, that's really what I thought. It's like, there's no way he actually said that. I don't know, man, because he's the best coach we've had since leaving. There's no debating that.
Okay.
But he's just made some head-scratching mistakes.
Yes.
His whole tenure, and Bean has been amazing, but part of me wonders, would it have been a better idea to promote what's his name that went to? I can't remember. Why is my name blanking? That went to the Giants.
Dable.
Dable. I think Dable as a head coach with Josh Allen would have been great, but also the way I look at it, I can't make any decisions. So he's our coach for the foreseeable future. We can do a lot worse. I did not. I'm hoping with the
with Joe Brady there. I'd like to see what he can do on defense second year. I don't know. I really don't.
I'd be okay with him leaving. After the debacle of 13 seconds, I was like furious, and I don't think I've ever forgave him.
I'd say what did anger me about 13 seconds isn't even that the fact that the play happened. It was, if you watch some of the interviews after that, he took zero responsibility for it.
Oh, yeah, he threw everybody under the bus.
He threw all the players on the bus.
Leslie Frazier, yeah.
And I'm sure they made some mistakes. I know I'm not an X's and O's guy, but you're the head coach. You should take the blame.
You should have the final say on what you're doing. Okay, so
exactly.
Here's the scenario. 13 seconds left. You're still rushing 4 guys. You have not been able to put Pat Mahomes on the ground once that whole entire game, and you're going to still rush 4 on the last play of the game? Are you crazy?
Right.
And then the squib kick, whether or not that was called in and he, Bass messed that up or didn't mess it up or wasn't told, whatever.
Oh, and the fake punt at the end with Hamlin?
Yeah.
Why? What was that? That was silly.
I don't know. The other last thing that really drives me bananas with Coach McDermott is when he goes to draw people offside and then he ends up wasting a timeout trying to dry them off. Like, just run the damn play.
Right. Just run the ball. Whatever happens, run it.
Yeah, push them. Just, you know what? You need a yard or two? Like, ugh. Or just punt the ball and save the timeout for later. It's always come back to biting the ball. Oh, we could have used that timeout.
Yep.
So
I think I heard somebody on your podcast a few weeks ago say he needs to hire someone whose only job is time management.
Someone did say that.
Well, who was I going to say? The Rams? Who did that? Who actually, Sean Payton? Did he get someone?
No, that's Sean McVay.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Right?
They actually have a guy
yeah.
whose his sole job is to watch the clock and make those calls.
And because that's been like you've been saying, that's been his biggest downfall.
Right.
Well, and then it always seems to happen in the Chiefs games,
right.
in the playoffs.
And that's the thing. Let me ask you guys this, because I'm
ask away.
So
ask away.
All other factors are the same. Let's say Josh Allen goes to the Chiefs with Andy Mahomes, Reed, Hill for a while. Pat Mahomes goes to the Bills with everything we've had. Who has more Super Bowls, Josh Allen and the Chiefs or Pat Mahomes and the Bills?
Josh Allen and the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree too, and I just think, again, where I think Josh Allen is on par, I actually might take Josh Allen over Mahomes. I think where the Chiefs have had the advantage is their organization stronger. They've got a coach. We always seem to be out-coached. Andy Reid, who took his lumps with Philadelphia, who, again, he struggled as a relatively new coach, couldn't get over the hump. He's got the wisdom, and it's those elements. It's not Josh Allen. Josh Allen, that one game with Gabe Davis, that was for you, Kyle.
The 4 touchdowns?
The 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The players.
That's 13 seconds.
Right, I know. But, for all intents and purposes, the Bills players have been there. It's been an organizational thing that the Bills have not been able to overcome. It's similar to Miami and Buffalo, if you think about that one. Miami can't get over Buffalo. We can't get over the Chiefs. For a while there, the Chiefs couldn't get over Cincinnati. It was kind of like this evolution thing in the NFL. And you know what? I think the Bills are capable. I don't know if they're capable this year because of the cap situation, but it's not the player. It's not Josh Allen. I never blame Josh Allen.
I actually think Josh Allen is saving Sean McDermott's job.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Show me a good goaltender, I'll show you a good coach, and vice versa. Show me a great quarterback, and your coach is going to be safe forever.
So
you replace Josh Allen with even a Kirk Cousins or some middle-of-the-road quarterback, we're nothing.
Right.
Well, I asked a buddy of mine, I went on the moon dance last night. That was a fun experience. And I was talking to a couple other guys, and I said this question. Josh Allen not here or hurt, Trubisky comes in, you're a mediocre team. What other teams, though? I have one team in my mind. What team, if their starter goes down, comes in and has no difference? Where's one team?
The Chiefs. I wouldn't say no difference, but I'd say the Chiefs would still make playoffs.
Who's
the backup right now?
Is it Chad Henne still, or did he retire finally? I don't know. The team I had in my mind was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Russell Wilson goes down.
Tomlin's such a great coach.
Justin Fields comes in. He's an awesome player.
Right.
But I think McDermott was saved because this season anyways, because he called a great defense. You know what it is? I think the guy is just a really good defensive coordinator that has responsibilities of a head coach, which he shouldn't probably.
Casey backup is Carson Wentz.
Oh, forget it.
That's kind of how I felt about Rex Ryan.
Absolutely, same guy.
The reason Rex Ryan is not a good head coach is because he wants to be his player's friend and not their boss.
Right.
And the guy before him, Marone, was the opposite. He was too much of a
that's a funny name to bring up.
A dictator. And he was the color socks they wore to practice and stuff like that. Like he's cut out for college. He's not cut out for an NFL head coach. And as far as demeanor goes, at least McDermott's that guy that he commands the respect, but he earns the respect that he gets.
Yeah, but has he gotten this team to their peak with what he can do? And I know there's like no one really out there unless somebody can find him. But is there somebody else that could come in and take him to the next level? Because I'm not okay watching them get to the second round of the playoffs every year and not go any further.
No, I was for a while.
Oh, sure.
Because 7 years of the drought, making the playoff. The day we made the playoffs, like I said, that's still my favorite memory.
Hey, Sean and I are 10 years older than you. We've watched 10 more years of shitty football than you.
Yeah, I remember the Music City.
Oh God,
quote unquote miracle.
Yeah.
I was 9 years old, so my mom was at a bar watching the game. She got a babysitter. Babysitter didn't want to watch football, so I'm huddled in my bedroom with a little dial TV, those old black and white ones that my mom still had, and nobody there to console me. And my mom told me the story later, much later in life. That she was at the bar watching the game. Everybody's going nuts. She's not a football fan, really. So she turns to her friend and said, "Wouldn't it be funny if when the Titans get the ball with that 1 second left, wouldn't it be funny if they scored a touchdown and lost?"
Oh, jeez.
I told her she's the reason I drink. Like she should not have told me that story. She's like, "I'm just saying it would be funny." Yeah, you don't ever say that out loud.
So, funny story about that. We interviewed Mary from the Nashville Backers, and she was out and about, right, Sean? Or went to a meet and greet or something, and she went right up into Frank Wycheck's face.
Confronted him.
And told him that was a forward pass. And she walked away.
I haven't watched that play. If that play comes on TV, I turn my head or change the channel. I haven't seen it since that day.
That's like wide right for me. I can't watch wide right. I refuse to watch wide right. I don't need to see wide right. I don't need to watch the Four Falls of Buffalo anymore.
Hey, listen, just blame the helicopters for George Bush on that missed field goal.
Yes.
The swirling winds down at that end zone. Yeah.
I've heard somebody also blame Whitney Houston because she pumped up the Giants because she faced their way and didn't look our way the whole time.
Yeah, but isn't it also possible that the Bills allegedly partied way too hard the night before?
Yeah.
Oh, they admit to that, yeah.
It was remarkable. They only had the ball for 19 minutes and they scored 19 points. That's a remarkable thing. That's another
and Thurman
example.
Thomas ran the ball all over him.
It's another example of outcoached. We just got badly outcoached. They had a plan. They executed.
You know who the defensive coordinator was with that Giants team?
I do. William Belichick.
He's been the bane of my existence since I was born.
Yeah.
Now I have
that was the year I was born, 1990.
I have a theory. My theory is that the Brady roast, because it really turned into a debacle, like a really uncomfortable debacle for Tom Brady.
Oh yeah,
that's our reparations for having to deal with him in our division for 20 plus years.
Oh my God,
I do gotta say, I'll give Tom Brady credit. The mafia ring joke, he got us good.
He did get us good.
I didn't. You're fine. I didn't see that one at all yet. I'm only an hour in.
Buffalo fans, you guys call yourself the mafia, but you have to have an effing ring to kiss before you can call yourself that.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's at the end when he's roasting everybody else.
I did not.
Wait till the end.
I didn't see that one. That's just
so
a
apparently,
chapter.
Kraft was there.
He was.
And him and Belichick were in the green room before the show, and it was really uncomfortable for everybody.
Yes.
Oh, it's uncomfortable when he came out.
Yeah.
And they were taking shots together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The whole thing, Tom Brady almost from the drop of the hat. I woke up this morning because my wife and I watched it together, and I just had this thought that Tom Brady probably thought to himself before going into this roast, I'm Tom fucking Brady. I can do whatever. I can conquer everything. And almost 30 seconds in, he's like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. And it lasted 3 hours. I think anybody who was a Bills Mafia backer loved every second of that roast. Every second.
You know
Because he
what?
tried so hard to put on a smile. But it's the meme of the guy with the smiling mask and he's crying behind it. That's what it felt like from the clips I've seen.
I did.
Yes.
I did feel bad when they were told that the kids were off limits because Nikki Glazer talked a little bit about like what was off limits, on limits, and the kids were off limits. He took it hard with the Giselle jokes. Holy cow!
And they piled up.
Oh yeah, they did.
They
You
piled
should
up.
know going into there, like, you're married to a supermodel that divorced you, and that was, wife's not out. Kids are off limits. Wife is not.
Yeah, who was married to a jiu-jitsu guy, whatever. Oh my God, there was a bit from. She had some funny jokes, but anyways,
Wait, I gotta tell the best line in the first hour was I forgot who.
spoiler for anyone that hasn't seen it
Yeah,
yet.
spoiler. But you went 8 and 9, and all it cost you was your kids and your wife. and I lost it. And I gotta give a shout out to Drew Bledsoe.
Yes, he brought it.
He let it. He let it
Yeah,
off.
I saw some clips from that. Yeah,
I was so impressed with Drew Bledsoe, who was pretty damn funny in his own right.
If it wasn't a Tom Brady roast, it was the Gronkowski roast because they lit him up. They lit him up.
Yes, he was
The Gronk crypto joke was hysterical.
hysterical, and then Kevin Hart following it up with he didn't get the joke.
Yeah.
He didn't get the joke.
Yeah. So back to coaches. Can you think back, Joe or Sean, who was the Bills' last head coach during the many that we've had that is more of an offensive-minded coach and not a defensive-minded coach? Because I'm wondering if that's the problem. Maybe the Bills need to bring in an Eric Bieniemy type guy.
Shane Gailey, I think.
Was
I was
Marone?
just having this conversation this morning. I think Shane Gailey was our first. Well, Marone was a defensive guy too.
I don't. Yeah.
But who was
Greg
Rex's
Williams.
first year? Our
Oh
coordinator.
God, Greg Williams.
Was
Jesus.
it Roman?
Roman was there. He. Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, but he was an
I
OC
like-
though.
What's that?
He was an OC.
Yeah. I think the last offensive-minded coach we had, successful or not, was Chan Gailey and Marone. Because Marone was an offensive lineman for 2-3 years for the
And
Jets.
and the quarterback that we had then was what, Flutie, and
Yeah.
then it was like Trent Edwards or somebody.
Even Wade Phillips was more defensive than he was
Oh, yeah.
offensive.
Yeah.
You're right. I never really considered
Let's
Marv
hear
Levy.
you have the list.
I
Here?
do have the list.
All right, from Marv Levy, hit us to the recent.
I don't know if it's quite in order, but we've got Joe Collier, we got Doug Marrone. No, it can't be in order because we got Chuck Knox. No, it's not. It's not chronological. But Greg Williams, McDermott, Knox, Marrone, Joe Collier, Marv Levy, Mike Mularkey, Wade Phillips,
Oh God,
Chan Gailey.
there's some names in there.
There's a name. Chan
There's a
Gailey.
lot of
I have
names in there.
Dick Duran,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then Rex Ryan, and then we're talking black and white photos. We're
Okay.
talking,
All right.
old.
Dude, we have almost as many coaches as the Browns have quarterbacks
Right. No,
since
I know.
they've been in the playoffs.
Well, we just couldn't get in the playoffs. So the coach is going to take the fall.
Playoffs. Hey, Joe, are you a Sabres fan? Yeah. Joe, are you a Sabres fan?
I am.
How closely do you follow them?
If I'm being honest, I followed them real close when I first moved here. But when they stopped playing so well,
So like 13 years ago?
yeah. So only because it was a financial decision. Because to watch them, this was before I really had the internet. I had to buy the NHL package every year.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like, I love you guys, but until you shape up, I'm not spending $150, $200 a year on you.
So you do know that Lindy Ruff is back, though, right?
Oh, I know. And
okay. All
I
right.
tell people this. I'm a baseball fan. I'm a football fan. I'm not really a hockey fan. I'm a Sabres fan, if that makes sense.
Sure. Who's your baseball team?
So I can't really tell you much about the X and O's of hockey. I can tell you I have a lot of great memories as a Sabres fan, and Lindy Ruff is at the helm of all those memories.
Yeah.
And Dominic Hasek.
And exactly.
Yeah.
One time, actually, I was at a bar in Depew, and Lindy Ruff was in there with some of his friends. It was like July. And so somebody said, Joe, go say something funny to Lindy Ruff. And I was like, I got an idea. And I went up to him and I said to him, so remember in all these press conferences, everybody says how competitive an edge Lindy has. I can tell you personally. I went up to him and said, Mr. Ruff, I know you're eating dinner, so when you're done eating dinner, no rush. But it would be an honor if you played me on the bubble hockey machine right over there. And he looks at me, takes a bite of his food, and says, you know what? I'd rather just kick your ass right now. And we went over to the bubble hockey machine. He beat me like 5-0. It was awesome.
Oh, that is cool.
That's a great
And
story.
I said
That's
to my
cool.
friend, he was like, don't tell your friend till I leave. But I have one of these in my basement, so I play all the time. I've been undefeated on the machine. I've beaten all my friends, so I was like, I can at least, play Lindy Ruff. Nope.
Wow.
That's a great story.
I'm glad I asked about the Sabres.
I am not a Sabres fan, but I can respect that story. I don't know if Lindy Ruff was the best choice for the Buffalo Sabres. Again, it's hard to believe it's been 10 years since he's been gone, but you make me feel a bit warmer about that decision with that story. It's a great story. Go Lindy, not Buffalo Sabres, but we'll see. That's a really good story.
So you said you're a baseball fan. Who's your team?
So I was a huge Bisons fan growing up.
Sure.
Went to 15, 20 games a year. So I was a Cleveland Indians fan as a kid.
Oh, me too. Albert Bell and Ramirez and all those guys?
Well, kind of later. So because of the Bisons, the guys like Grady Sizemore.
Oh, yeah.
All those guys played in Buffalo. So I watched them play before they were anybody.
Okay.
So I grew up a Cleveland fan until I moved here and just kind of slowly drifted away from Cleveland because they weren't even the Bison's parent club anymore.
He's going to tell us he's an Astros fan.
Yeah.
Garbage can.
Give me all the trash can jokes you want.
Oh, yeah.
But I did jump on the bandwagon. When I came here and started going to the games, they were losing 100 games a year.
Oh, geez, yeah.
I started going. That's actually why I became a fan, because they were so bad. You can drive down there on game day, get a ticket from a scalper for $5. You were allowed to bring any food or non-alcoholic drinking you wanted. Like you didn't have to sneak it in. So for $5 plus some gas station snacks, I can go enjoy a Major League Baseball game and sit wherever I wanted.
Yeah.
So that's actually how I became an Astros fan. And I'm also a diehard University of Houston fan for college baseball.
Who are the studs that have come out of University of Houston football in the last?
Football, well, the best quarterback has been Case Keenum, our old backup.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Of course, our boy Ed Oliver.
Yeah,
yeah.
Greg Ward, he was a quarterback for us, but I was a receiver for the Eagles. We actually had at one point the most Houston Cougars in the league because we had Ed Oliver, we had Case Keenum, and then Marquise Stevenson.
Oh yeah.
So we had 3 University of Houston players on our team at one point.
Wow.
I got season tickets to the football team as well. So I've never met Ed Oliver, but I met his unfortunately, I learned he passed away, but I met his Great Dane. Because his girlfriend would walk his dog and bring him to the locker room before the game so he could play with his dog pregame. So I met his dog a few times.
How much are seasons to like the University of Houston? Season tickets?
Now, last year they were $175 because we played Texas.
Oh.
And that ticket alone was, Texas fans were buying season tickets because it was cheaper than buying the secondary market tickets. Now that they're gone and we're not very good, it'll be $99 cheapest.
Dude, that's not bad. I wonder what UB football costs.
A lot less.
I'm sure.
It's all about the schedule.
Sure.
I mean, college football in Texas is still, even the lower teams like us, we're still college football in Texas.
I mean, UB's
so
not getting...
when I go to the games, I wear my Bills Color Rush Ed Oliver jersey because it's the same shade of red.
Oh, yeah.
So let me ask you this. Does college football still overpower at the NFL down there?
Absolutely.
It does.
People care much more about the Longhorns or the Aggies than the Texans or the Cowboys. In smaller towns down here, now not really so much Houston or the bigger cities, but smaller towns is truly just like the show Friday Night Lights where the town shuts down on Friday nights. I'm
glad you're bringing that up.
Even the restaurants, everybody's at the game. It's wild. I went to my first high school football game when I came down here because my cousin was a senior in high school. He was an offensive lineman. The first game I went to, actually, he's an offensive lineman. He recovered a fumble and ran it 2 yards for a first down. And he always bragged he led the offensive line in rushing yards that year.
That's funny. So is it really it's really a big hoopla down there, huh?
Oh yeah,
that'd be sweet.
I love going to college, and I never cared about college much when I lived up there. My grandfather and great grandfather were Notre Dame fans, so I kind of followed Notre Dame, but I didn't really care, if that makes sense. You got to go to a game to really understand what the college football experience.
No. I was talking about your high school football scene in Texas. Like, you've probably been to a few Western New York football games. They're probably nothing compared to Texas high school football game.
No, so I went to Frontier.
Yep.
And when I went, it was I used to go to games because I was not athletic, but I loved sports. So the only people that went to the games when I went were the parents of the players, the parents of the marching band, and students. And the student section was fun, but like nobody else in the town cared. Down here, it's a completely different story. It's literally front page news when the teams win.
That'd be sweet. You know what it is? It's probably like UB football at every high school down in Texas.
Yeah, the stadiums. I mean, I'm assuming the stadiums are. Your high school teams are playing in professional stadiums where we just got brand new turf and we're excited about it.
Is that true, Joe? Like, are all those stadiums?
Yeah,
every high school's got a stadium.
Like I said, the farther you get away from the big cities, the bigger it gets. But there's some stadiums that are 30, 40,000 seats.
Holy cow!
Yeah, and they sell out.
That's impressive.
Friday Night Lights, they made a whole...
That was a good show. I watched it. I watched it. It was very good. Or Varsity Blues, or what was the other one? The Blind Side. Blind Side, right?
Blind Side, yeah.
Was that Texas?
That was Tennessee.
No, yeah, it was because they were big. No, Mississippi.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because they were Tennessee fans.
Yeah.
That's the story.
All right. Well, Joe, we hit the hour mark. That's more than plenty of your time. Thank you very, very much for taking your time out of your Saturday morning to talk to us. Is there anything else that you would like to shout out before we send you off?
I just want to thank you guys. I want to thank Christian's Tailgate for hosting us every week in the season. I want to let anybody know if you're coming down to Houston for the game in October, we are planning a huge party. We don't have all the details yet, but we're Houston Bills backers. We are on all social media. My wife runs it. Join our Facebook group, follow our Facebook page and all the other socials for those details. We're going to have a great time. We're looking at ticket packages. Again, we don't have too many details on that yet. But yeah, it's going to be fun. If you're ever down here in a week where the Bills aren't in town, still come to Christians. We are the number one backers bar in the country for a reason. You will have the time of your life at Christian's Tailgate. I want to thank everybody else that helps me. Katie, she is the president. Thanks to Sean, he's the Dolphins fan I was telling you about. I want to thank my wife, who runs the social media, and Hoyt, our DJ. He works harder than anybody else on game day. He really does. So, yeah, that's about it.
All right,
Joe, you sold me, man.
Yeah, Joe.
You sold
from
me.
The Bills backers of Houston, Christian's Tailgate Midtown. That's 2000 Bagby Street in Houston.
And if you want to look me up on my social media, I go by Buffalo Joe Driscoll.
All right, Joe. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
The warmer weather than here, and stay safe.
Stay cool. Stay cool.
Yeah.
Will do. Go Bills.
All right, go Bills.
Go Bills.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Zabills Podcast is a presentation of Kmart Productions, sponsored by MJB Electric and Dudza Chiropractic. Thank you for listening, and if you haven't, please follow, rate, review the show. It helps with the algorithm. Zabills is executively produced by me, Kyle. Executive sound engineering by yours truly, also me. Fundraising, also by Kyle. All artwork executively produced by Avery and Mark Rochon. What the heck is this? All music and lighting executively produced by Kyle. That's more like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Please Drive carefully, and arrive home safely. Good night.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.